What up, sexy world travelers? This is your boy, Big Sexy. This is the part of the show where we want to thank our big, sexy world travelers. Now, what makes a sexy world traveler a big, sexy world traveler, you ask? Well, big, sexy world travelers made their way over to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/big sexy digital nomad, or better yet, bullwiththebutthole.com, and became supporters of Big Sexy Digital Nomad. So we want to say thank you to Jesus, Galen Diggs, Smitty Scoop, Angel Quo, Bree, Chris and Lisa Lowry at gowithlisa.com, Sebastian Robbins, Margaret White, Lee Popsicle, and Joshua Tarr. And we want to send a very special thanks to the sponsors of our podcast, Billy and Larissa, over there at cruisehabit.com. To check out their site, go to cruisehabit.com/BSDN or cruisehabit.com/Big Sexy. If you too would like to be a big, sexy world traveler and support this podcast, swing on over to bullwiththebutthole.com. That will take you to our Patreon page, where for as low as $1 a month, you too can become a big, sexy world traveler and have your name read at the start of our show. We thank you all for listening. Safe travels.
Safe travels.
So let's start there. How was it on the road?
I mean, the being on the road part is everything that I anticipated and expected it to be. However, I was expecting to come back to town and start feeling things that brought that nostalgia back. And everything is completely different. It's 2:00 on a Friday. I'm not drinking yet.
You cannot call yourself Judge Mentalist, not have the name of your show tied back into that concept.
You may be right. I will say the reviews are in. I have the best hypnosis show at the 2024 Rochester Fringe Festival. It's not even close. It's the only one here. So what you're saying is that the road to success in a future fringe is to apply for a fringe in a country and then set you up there 3 weeks before I ever come into town to just take it the fuck over for me.
You will sell out every single show.
What kind of weirdo digital nomads from cruise ships? Well, when I'm not being hypnotized by Judge Mentalist or serenaded with custom parodies by Big Sexy, I'm thinking about, talking about, and writing about cruising. Check out ship tours, cruise tips, and even join us on a group cruise by visiting cruisehabit.com/BSDN. Come talk ship with us. Again, that's cruisehabit.com/BSDN. Thanks for listening. Safe travels.
What up, you big sexy world travelers? Welcoming to the game of digital nomading is player number 2. That would be me. This is probably the first time, other than when we recorded a live episode together when we were at in Vegas, that I am actually on the road and actually in an Airbnb. Here recording an episode while your host, Big Sexy, also on the road because he is always on the road in an Airbnb. So here he is, your host, Big Sexy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this is hitting your ear holes. I hope that it is good. The good news is we are no longer in an Airbnb. We are in our long-term apartment that we are renting here. So this is our spot.
Oh, right? Sweet.
Now, while you're seeing this background now, those who are watching the video, it may change as I bounce around different places within the apartment to find the best place to record. You're going to get some microphone noises because Judge is on a portable microphone. and bouncing around. So, you get those kind of itches and scratches. But that happens when you're on the road. So let's start there. How was it on the road?
It's really interesting. I mean, the being on the road part is everything that I anticipated and expected it to be. However, for anybody that's been listening and has tracked kind of the journey and the story that brought me here to Rochester for the Fringe Festival, I went to undergrad here and I was expecting to come back to town and start like seeing and feeling things that brought that nostalgia back.
Right.
And I realized it has been close to 20 years since I've spent any significant time at all here in Rochester. And everything is completely different. There is,
they changed in 2 decades? How dare they?
How dare they? I mean, literally to the point where I have not driven anywhere where I legitimately click in to be like, oh, I remember this and what that is or whatever. Like I've seen some things where it's like, okay, cool. That's a spot that we would occasionally go or whatnot. But like nothing has really been like, oh shit, this is, like, cause if I were to go, for example, cause I was trying to explain this to my wife, if I were to go to like Disney World right now, you could blindfold me and I could walk you around that park. I have the map of any of those parks etched into my brain. It used to be that way here, or at least I think it did, where I could go to all of the places. Now, many of those places have changed, have turned over. I have gone back to some of the same places. If anybody's following me on Instagram a couple weeks ago, hoping to spur up some engagement, I put like a top 5 list of places that I'm looking to revisit when returning to Rochester. And one of those places closed like 2 weeks ago, which sucked. And I've been to the other 4. One of the other 4, I don't think is the same place. And it was, and the reason that one made the list is that I wanted variety. And I reached out to a friend of mine because I was like, hey, we used to always go to this like Asian fusion place that had bubble tea before bubble tea was like a big thing. Now it's like everywhere. What was it? And I put on the list and the other day visited the place that this gal gave me. It's not the right place. The food's similar, the bubble tea's similar, but the place is not the same. And when I talk to the owners, I'm like, did you used to be somewhere before here? And they're like, no. And it was literally like, it wasn't anywhere near as far as looking the same way, being the same way, any of those kind of things as far as the building was concerned. There are places that I've driven to where all of a sudden they've put in like 3 consecutive traffic circles. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then just the way roadways go, things, just so much stuff has changed. Like my college campus, so much stuff has been built up over the years. Like
the campus.
Everything is completely unrecognizable, at least from what I have gotten through. I mean, we're recording this on a Friday. I've been here since Monday, so almost a week. And it's literally, I'm a stranger in a strange land. Like this, the familiarity I thought I was going to come back into didn't happen.
That's interesting when you get to a place that you think you know and you realize you don't.
Yeah.
I had that experience going back to Rialto, California. Like some of the places I realized, but like they've opened streets that weren't open before. They've closed streets that weren't closed before. So like just navigating just the city was tough. There were new stores, things that I thought were there are gone, and things that were never there. Now, suddenly there's a Starbucks in a place that was nothing. Like it's
the Starbucks everywhere up here, and that was rare.
Right, your landmarks, right? The college campus is always going to be there, right? The high school
so different.
might still be there. Yeah.
Yes, that's wild. So all it does is it flips the script and makes it a new adventure for me. We ended up like Monday night, everything downtown was dead because why wouldn't it be on a Monday night? So we rolled the dice and went back to my old college campus, which they've now put a bar on the college campus. There was not a bar on the college campus when I went to school here. We happened to go in on a trivia night, so the place was packed. So it gave us a good opportunity to roll through, talk to people, do close-up magic for, hand out flyers for the shows. So, all we've been doing is either going to shows, doing shows, or promoting our show. And
how the show's been going?
Pretty good so far. I mean, Bernardo, the way the schedule was set up, because as you may know, we aren't doing one show like we normally do. We each have our own individual shows. His last show is actually this evening. So his last show of the run, he's had 3 of his 4 shows already, and each show seems to have gotten better. The audiences have gotten better. And tonight he's got, from the last time that we checked, and we have to be, we don't get live updates to us. We have to coordinate with somebody who's volunteering at Fringe to be like, hey, how many are sold for this show? But as of, I guess, this time yesterday, his ticket sales for today's show were bigger than any, like all of the other shows combined. So he's going to have a crazy show tonight. I've done one show so far. I did one Wednesday. Whatever, pick a day and just say it, whether it's right or not, who knows? I mean, fuck, we're out here eating cats and dogs now. So the truth is totally irrelevant. But that went well. I had, in a 100-seat theater, I had probably close to 50 people there.
Okay.
Tiny stage, 12 foot by 6 foot, which is a little bit less than ideal for doing a show like mine, just because as far as maneuvering people around and making sure people don't take a swan dive off the stage. So I only was able to set 6 chairs for volunteers, which is fine. I've done, whatever. It is what it is. It creates more demand for the chairs. And I almost took a swan dive off the stage in the first show. So that was exciting and interesting. And there will probably be
is there video footage of it.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, there's probably going to be an almost fail video of me doing the little wobble off the edge of the stage. So I caught myself. I didn't die.
Good. Yeah.
And
if you're going to die, it has to be on air. I'm very much adopting the ICS profile that we need. If a fatality is going to happen, it needs to happen on air.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's cool. If you are listening to this live, which is the only way that you're going to catch this announcement before this episode airs, I have 2 shows Saturday and 2 shows Sunday. And last I checked, the pre-sales for those shows were relatively light. They're going to be fine, but I'm saying this to let you know that there should very well be walk-up tickets available. Even if the thing blows up, there's still probably going to be walk-up tickets available, because I think of the 4 shows that were remaining when I saw an update yesterday, only one of them had more than 10 tickets sold. So there's plenty of seats left. It's interesting because it just, how to market for this thing. We've run into performers that do fringes all of the time, seem to absolutely and 100% have their shit together as far as getting themselves out there, being everywhere. We see their posters and their postcards and everything everywhere. And we went to one of their shows last night, and there were like 16 people there. And it's like, I don't know, I've heard good and bad things about fringe shows as far as the population and who shows up. They seem on the surface to be doing a good job of promoting it in general, but that, whether that translates into people turning out, who knows? There's shows happening all the time at 30 plus venues. So obviously there's a lot of choices that people have to make. And it is what it is. And I mean, last night's show that we went to, where there was only like 16, 17 people there, whatever it was happening right at the time of Thursday night football, and the Buffalo Bills, which is the team regionally that people would be interested in, were playing on live TV. But
that'll definitely have an impact.
You'd think so, but like the fringe crowd and the watching football crowd probably don't have a great deal of overlap. Think about the whole jock versus nerd strife on ICS. It's kind of that same divide. However, it is a town that you can't escape the football talk, because if you go buy one of the beers in the region, Labatt Blue Light, it's decorated with Zubaz, which are these pants that they used to wear if they were Bills fans back in like the 90s when they lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. Go ahead, Bills fans, throw the hate. You know, so this stuff is everywhere. I'm not sitting here drinking. I just brought that out here to show, though, that on video that they're doing that. Yeah, it's 2:00 on a Friday. I'm not drinking yet.
Well, you know, I mean, it's drink o'clock somewhere. You know,
it is. And who knows? Maybe I crack that at the end of the episode. Probably not, but it's there.
Yeah. For when you're ready, it's ready. It's ready when you are.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, first show went well. I had volunteers, kept them all. Had a good show. It's interesting because there are many ways in which everything is exactly what I expected it to be. Yet at the same time, there are ways in which it's nowhere near what I expected it to be. So, learning a lot of lessons that will come into play when I do one of these in the future. Like, for example, I apply again to this or a similar fringe. And when I say similar fringe, I mean I'm going somewhere for a week and I'm doing 4, 5, 6 shows over that course of time. The title to my show the next time through is going to be Hypnosis, Hypnosis, Hypnosis.
Okay.
There's going to be no question or ambiguity about what the fuck it is that I am doing. Not that there was any question or ambiguity. I think that people who came to my show because they read the description knew that they were coming to a hypnosis show. However, there's nothing on its face in most of the ads or the poster copy that said this is a hypnosis show. Sure, there's a little swirl and some weird stuff, but it says Judgmentalist and Court of the Mind and nothing about the actual poster itself other than that swirly background even indicates that it's a hypnosis show. So that's one thing that I will probably change in the future. And,
the Court of Hypnosis sounds cool.
Yeah, that could be, something that whether it's hypnosis, or something else along those lines, something that makes it very clear and unambiguous that this is a fucking hypnosis show that you're showing up to.
Listen, let's have a contest, listeners. If you want to come up with a cool, interesting name that highlights the Judgmentalist show is a hypnosis show, but also incorporates the court theme, submit those on. You can do that on Twitter with a hashtag hypnosis, or a hashtag new Judgmentalist show, or do it on Instagram. Hit us up at bigsexynomad or at psychic-ish.
And it doesn't have to be courtroom themed. The name of this show bore out of necessity of Bernardo and I splitting our shows and applying separately. Right. So I'm
sorry, Judgmentalist. 100% it has to be courtroom themed.
It could be.
You cannot call or justice themed. You cannot call yourself Judgmentalist and not have the name of your show tied back into that concept.
You may be right. But again, I want it to be something that punches people in the face and says, this is a hypnosis show. So that when you're turning the pages through the guide of Fringe and what's going on, there's a hypnosis show. You will make whatever decision you want about whether you're interested in attending a hypnosis show based on your own history and experience. Right. But you're going to know unequivocally this is a hypnosis show. And I will say the reviews are in. I have the best hypnosis show at the 2024 Rochester Fringe Festival. It's not even close. It's the only one here. So it has to be the best. I also consequently have the worst hypnosis show here at the Rochester Fringe, but we're not going to highlight that.
No. You have the best.
It is the best.
Yeah, the number 1 rated hypnosis show at the Rochester Fringe Festival. I'm put that on the splash page.
Do it. We're here. Yeah. Exactly. So what's going on in your world? You're in semi-permanent digs for an extended period of time. How long are you there?
We're here 9 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we signed the lease yesterday. It's been our first night here. It's an amazing apartment. So, we did the whole apartment search. We met, our friends that I mentioned before. Shout out to Cecilia and Lena, who are also doing an Airbnb thing here. And she mentioned that they had gone on Facebook Marketplace to find rentals for Playa del Carmen. So I said, oh, I'll follow suit. And so I went on Facebook Marketplace, and literally the first one I saw was this unit. The first one I saw, it looked big, it was nice, it was in our price range. So I looked it over. I messaged it said send a message here. I messaged that person. It was this wonderful person named Alina, who is phenomenal. Shout out to Alina and her services. Our place, the owner of the place is a beautiful, lovely older Mexican woman named Carmen, who speaks Spanish and French and a tiny bit of English, and who really care for the place. And we walked in, we felt it. Like there's no elevator, so that was kind of and it's on the what we would call the second floor, in the States. But that being said, no, it'd be on the second floor here. So it's technically the third floor in the States. But that being said, it was still the apartment is huge. It's amazing. It's a 2-bedroom, 2 full bath, a full guest room, the full main bedroom, a massive space for the living space, a huge kitchen, wonderful serving area. There's actually enough room in the living room where we're probably going to bring Nilla's pole out here and set that up so she can practice here in our apartment. We are literally across the street from our friend Cecilio and Lena, which is really amazing. Matter of
Is that
fact,
where you have
Elena,
the infinity pool on the roof?
so our affinity pool was on our Airbnb that we just left.
Right.
So it's the place that we left. That was an amazing place to be. But again, it was Airbnb, so it was out of our price range. It was in our price range if we were planning on living here and wanted to be at the high end of the market, and we could afford it, but not if we're trying to save money, which is what we came to Mexico to do. So we got this place for over half of what the Airbnb was, and less than anything we were paying in Vegas. And we're still, it was a 6-minute walk from our Airbnb to this place. 10 minutes with the dog and in the heat and carrying luggage. Yeah. So we got this place, we landed it, and it's funny, the experience was crazy. So we hooked up with Alina, and she showed us a couple of places. Both the places she showed us was perfect. We also met up with a guy named Alex, and I want to get this correct because I want to give him a shout out because he was very helpful in just showing us around places. So he's with a company called Playa Apartment Locators, and they have he sent me a quote that he would like me to read, and I told him I'd do it because he was so helpful. And unfortunately, we didn't do any of his apartments. None of them really worked out for us, but there were really some great units. And so he said, Playa Apartment Locators. We are here to be on the tenant side to make renting a more fair and easy experience for tenants and landlords, an ethical way of doing business where the focus isn't on the dollar, but the people. That's the only free ad read you're going to get ever. But if you're coming to Playa del Carmen and you're looking for a rental place, I would definitely recommend his services. He's a little sketchy. He was a little iffy at first. He made us feel nervous. He's one of those folks who's one of his favorite catchphrases is "Let me be honest," which the more somebody says "Let me be honest," the less and less I think you're really an honest person. But no, he's an honest person. So he's one of those few people that it applies to.
It's also, you got to consider, with a language barrier, somebody will have comfort phrases that they just kind of default back to as their,
Yeah, he's Israeli, so he wasn't Mexican. He's Israeli. Actually, both of our locators weren't Mexican.
Okay.
Alina was, I think she's Russian, and
well, still not
Alex was
their first language.
No, nothing. Yeah, English is not their first language, so they're definitely a bit of a language barrier, which is fine. Well, there's a phrase barrier, as it were. They both spoke English very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was great. It was sad leaving the Airbnb, one, because we really loved that pool, at that infinity pool. I was there almost every day. Folks who saw, my Instagram post, I made sure to share those photos on a daily basis. The staff was absolutely wonderful. I want to shout out Carla, who was delightful, Brian, who was wonderful, and last but not least, one of the best person I talked to there was Elisa. Elisa was also from Russia, and she's from Russia and Algeria, and is one of the most beautiful people that I had seen here in Mexico, and was awesome to hang out with and chat with and talk to and get to know. And she really hipped us up on different parts of the city to live in and how to navigate the public transportation, which really, really sucks here in Playa del Carmen and apparently Mexico as a whole. There is a taxi cartel. That is for real, for real. We experienced it. We tried to get a taxi cab from, and I don't know if I told the story or not, but I'm going to tell it again. Well, we tried to get a taxi cab from where we're at to the mall. I found an app called Radio Taxi, PDC, which it works like an Uber. And we ordered the cab. And we walked to a spot. Oh, no, I'm pretty sure I told the story. We walked to the spot, and there was already a cab sitting there. So we told the cabbie, like, hey, can you take us to the mall? And he's like, 100 pesos. And I'd already pulled up the app, and it was like 82 pesos. So I said, 80 pesos. He said, no, 100 pesos. I said, never mind. I'm willing to pay the 82.50 that I'm seeing on the app. And so he left and whatever. And so he finally starts to, we already ordered the other taxi. He backs up and says, okay, I'll do it. Too late, bro. I've already ordered the taxi. It's already on its way. So the taxi gets there. The taxi who was already sitting there calls our taxi guy over, and they get in an argument. He's like, what are you doing picking up people here? This is the tourist area. You're not allowed to. And he's like, bro, I know what you're doing. They have an app. This is the zone. It works just fine. He's like, you know what? You can't be coming up here. I'll beat your ass. If you come up back here, whatever. And it's like, I love that you got in a fight because you want to rip us off. Like, you can go fuck yourself. So that taxi app has been very, very helpful. We still get ripped off from time to time out of necessity because I realize that we're haggling over dollars when I do the math of it. You know what I mean? Like, he said 100 pesos. I wanted 80 pesos. That's a 20 pesos difference. That's about $1.10. But that's
It's a
$1.10.
principle.
Yeah, it's the principle of it.
They add up.
Exactly. We're very much saying that the taxi sees American tourists and they go, ooh, that looks like a nice wide booty hole you got there. Let me go ahead and get in that booty hole and take all your money. Yeah, we're gonna keep y'all out of our booty hole. We're not a fan of that. So we figured it out. We're managing, and now we're locked into a lovely, wonderful place. Very
sweet.
Happy. Very happy. So we're having our first Mahjong housewarming party this Sunday. As of this recording, as of this, it will already happen. So thank you to everybody who showed up. But if you're catching this live and you're in Playa del Carmen, which is nobody, you're welcome to come to our joint on Sunday, and we're gonna have a housewarming Mahjong potluck and get together.
You never know. I mean, since I've been in Rochester and being in a city, like I'm in downtown, so like where I went to undergrad was one of the suburbs, but there are so many places as cities have for you to just peel off and plop a sticker. So the number of big sexy digital nomad stickers that are on the streets on different poles and signs and things like that in bathrooms that are throughout the Rochester area. Welcome to anybody that's listening because you saw us while taking a shit in a bar. Let us know what bar you were in when you took a dookie and was like, what's this?
and now you're checking us out. Welcome. Happy to have you. Yeah, which is now that we have a location and an address, I can now order more stickers. I can get more things sent and get, because I'm out of because they're all in Spain and the UK,
right,
and France. right? So Europe is filled with Big Sexy Digital Nomad stickers. So I'm looking forward to, now that we have a spot, doing all the things, ordering. We can get Amazon here easier than we could in Europe. So really excited to take advantage of that. We did a big shopping day yesterday. We're going to do another one here shortly, just to get like household items, like to buy a fan and like an air fryer, and a water dispenser. Like, it's been a while.
You're for 9 months, so get a few things.
Right.
Talk about something independently. I want to swap out this mic cable. So you chat about something. I'll be back in like 2.
Got it. So what I can talk to listeners about is upcoming wonderfulness. We are making plans to have a big birthday party for my significant other, Nilla. Her birthday is coming up in March, and my mother apparently won a cruise through her casino. So we're going to be doing a large cruise. We're not sure which cruise yet, but stay tuned. Details will be coming shortly. We'll keep you posted. But the wife wants to do something big. She's like either a spa or a vacation. And you can do both of those things at once, a cruise. And if you want information about cruises, you can swing on over to our friends and our sponsors.
cruisehabit.com/BSDN.
And talk to Billy and Larissa.
I'm Billy.
And I'm Larissa.
Come talk ship with us at cruisehabit.com/BSDN. Safe travels.
Yeah, they'll tell you all about different cruise lines, whatever. But this cruise coming in March is going to be phenomenal. It'll be huge. So stay tuned. We will let you all know as things come, because how cool it'll be to have a bunch of listeners to help celebrate their wife's 50th birthday party.
Wait, you're cruising in March?
What was that?
You're cruising in March?
Yes.
Oh.
For the wife's 50th birthday party.
Oh, that's exciting. Where can I get information on that?
Looks like we'll be going to the Caribbean. Right now, information is being built up. We're locating which particular cruise line out of which area. I think it's going to be Royal Caribbean into the Bahamas, but we have an official day and time and port, hopefully in the next week or 2.
Cool. This seems better, yes?
So far, so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Popping the mic.
Yeah, shitty mic cable. Yeah. Fixed.
Next, we'll have to get you a little stand so you don't have to hold the. Did it come with a stand?
What's that?
Did that mic come with a stand?
This one in particular did not. It has like a thing that I probably could put it into a stand, but this is more for, kind of more of a casual sort of thing. And again, wanted to just have as little as I possibly could from a space and weight standpoint, because these mics are going with me to Michigan next week. So if you're not following me on social media, Judge Mentalist or the Between Two Minds show, next weekend from the time that we're recording this, and really this upcoming weekend from the time that you might be listening to it, if you're downloading it, I'm going to be at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. I'm speaking and doing a lecture there, but also I have been hired as the official podcaster for the conference. So instead of me just doing recordings that eventually get processed and uploaded somewhere, I'm like, why not? And I was kind of encouraged to do this by the coordinator who hired me. He's like, you have an established podcast where you talk about hypnosis. Now, granted, it is a behind the scenes about my show. In fact, when I get done with this, I'm moving the whole setup to the other room, and Bernardo and I will live stream a podcast about Fringe so far.
Nice.
So if you're following those channels and you're somehow watching this live, hop on over to that. But I will be doing, like, this is kind of the test run to be able to live stream that podcast from there at the time. So you'll see that on either the Between Two Minds Facebook page or the Judge Mentalist Facebook page, or if you are subscribed to Judge Mentalist's YouTube channel, it'll live stream there. So that'll be fun because I'll be interviewing a whole bunch of different hypnotists over the course of the weekend. Some of them are going to be stage, some of them are going to be street, some of them are going to be people who do clinical or therapeutic, because this is a conference that encompasses all of those different focus areas, not just performance or not just clinical. So it's going to be a wider mixed bag and a bigger conference than the one that I went to in Vegas that was just based on performance.
Sure, right. Well, that's cool. That's going to be amazing. I hope you learn a lot and figure out some awesome stuff and see some really cool things. Now, have you seen anybody so far in Fringe that would make an interesting interview?
Well, we hung out with Banachek the other night and another performer that we know. And there's the gal whose show we went to last night. One of the things that she does to help promote her shows is a podcast called What the Fringe. So I suggested to her, because I told her what we do, Bernardo and I, although we would plop the interview into a bonus episode here if we line it up to do it. I said, look, we should get together and do a crossover episode where we're interviewing you for your behind the scenes podcast. You're interviewing us for your What the Fringe podcast. And it's all just one podcast, and you know, clean it up and make it what it needs to be for you, and we'll do the same on our end and release them. But I think one of the things that we will do, because really what this Fringe has been about is learning how to do Fringes right. In the next time that we do one like this, and when I say like this, I mean travel. Same thing I was saying before with the name of the show. When we travel someplace and we're going to be there holed up for a week, and we know that we're responsible for promoting our own shows, because no matter what, like, you know, I bought a full page ad that's like pretty early on in this guide that's been printed and it's everywhere in this city. That doesn't appear to be driving much as far as ticket sales. I don't know where it's impossible to really track where the ticket sales are coming from. Yeah, so
that's not an easy task, especially with Fringe festivals.
Yeah, one of the things that I would love to do the next time that we sign up for something like this is start interviewing other performers that are going, you know, remotely, that are going to be participating in the same Fringe as us ahead of time. What
you may also want to do is start talking to other performers now who have done other Fringes to get a load of their experiences to see what you can learn for next time and stuff like that. Have you made any mistakes yet that you would correct next time?
I mean, other than almost falling off the stage, you mean? Or
that's a thing.
I don't know about mistakes, just things that we would tweak that I think would probably make things better. I mean, we came up with an idea that would be a lot of work to do, but it would engage interest in a different way. So one of the things that we thought that we would do next time that we, jumped into an endeavor like this is that we would publish a scavenger hunt of businesses that are worth visiting in the location that we're doing the Fringe. And we would reach out to businesses and we would basically sell slots in that scavenger hunt. So if you want, this is what it is. This is how many we're going to print. This is how it's going to be distributed. And, ultimately what will happen is, let's say that you sign up for this, you Big Sexy's karaoke bar in downtown Rochester. We're just going to make this up. All right. Give me $100. You're going to be on the checklist. I'm going to mail you a stack of the checklists or the scavenger hunts. And I'm also going to mail you a unique hole punch for you and your business. And what's going to happen is this whole scavenger hunt is set up that you're supposed to visit all of these businesses. And then when you come to our show, let's say we put 20 businesses on there. If you've got 15 of the 20 punches or whatever, we don't have the numbers worked out. You can exchange that for a free item from the merch table. or a very specific Fringe branded T-shirt of ours or something like that. And you get it for free because you rolled around town and visited all of these places or most of these places. We'd set a number. You wouldn't have to have 100% of it. So ultimately, if we got 20 businesses to do that, it covers the cost of printing. It covers the cost of the T-shirts. It covers the cost of us mailing the stuff out. But more importantly, there's 20 places that have postcards, because we'd have on the back of it would be the postcard of our show. So you'd get these postcards, they'd be sitting out, there'd be a scavenger hunt on the back. We'd already have places that months before the festival are pushing out our flyers and things like that. Because we mailed flyers to both of our venues and a handful of other places ahead of time. And when we walk through the door to both venues, those postcard flyers are not sitting there. So,
because they didn't put them out or because they're all gone?
They either, who knows?
That's a question.
Obviously when we got there, we put more there and we've put thousands of flyers out all over this town and we'll continue to do so. It's the game. You got to play that game. It's how it works. So
your flyers have QR codes and all the fun hip stuff, right? Because that's the hot thing. What you need now apparently is a picture of yourself with a back tattoo of a QR code that sends people to a link to buy tickets to your show.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen stuff similar to that.
That's how Katy Perry did it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, apparently in one of Katy Perry's new photos, she has what looks like a back tattoo of a QR code that sends you to a link to purchase concert tickets.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I recommend, that's what you need. You just need a picture of you with the back tattoo. Or neck. You can do the neck tattoo, I think. I think you can get away with the neck.
I'm not much of a neck tattoo guy.
No, it's much more small the back. You like a little tramp stamp?
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
I'd do it as a tramp stamp. Why not?
Yeah. I should do the same, although I couldn't worry about have to make it'd be a white QR code on my dark skin. And send a link to I don't know what to bullwiththebutthole.com. That's where that link has to go.
Or whatever this spam link is that somebody just dropped in the chat to go get cheap viewers from. Maybe we just do the QR code to that.
Oh yeah, there you go. The QR code was Mohammed Fayez 07.
Yeah.
Shout out to Diggs BTW.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's happening? It was good to see you. Yeah, I don't want any cheap. Our viewers are not cheap.
That's right.
Yeah, our viewers are well-rounded, wealthy, at least emotionally wealthy individuals. We don't have cheap viewers. We're not
high dollar horse.
Yeah.
Only high dollar horse listening to Big Sexy Digital Nomad. Right. Yeah.
That's right. Or free. Sometimes, we do get some charity viewers who will come in and just watch us for the love of the game, which is the second best way to watch us. The first best way to watch us, of course, is to be a subscriber at bullwiththebutthole.com and then check us out on our Twitch feed or our Facebook feed or our Instagram feed.
Are we running the Instagram? Yeah, it looks like it's running.
Yeah.
I don't understand these things. Also,
big shout out to tailor back to the old Airbnb where we were at Marilla here in Playa del Carmen. Shout out to the owners that I met there. I met a few people who own property there, which is really cool because I'll be messaging them and having them put my name on the guest list so I can go back to that infinity pool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that the staff hit me up to that little workaround. So yeah, get to know some owners and have them put you up. So shout out to Gada, shout out to Michelle and Brett, who were wonderful people. Brett and Michelle are out of Houston. They listen to the podcast. If you're listening now, welcome. If you when you hear this episode, man, you guys are wonderful. So happy to meet you both. Can't wait to talk to you again. Be sure to let me know when you guys come back out to Playa del Carmen. And it's really cool the ability to build a community, that's a talent that we have apparently. Like I'm really, my wife will tell you to me that I have the talent to build community wherever we are in the world, right? You know, all I need is an end. All I need is something to put together. And so mahjong is our main end. But a lot of times it's just like, hey, how about we just hang out, get to know each other and chill and, you know, become friends or whatever.
So what you're saying is that the road to success in a future fringe is to apply for a fringe in a country where you're potentially going to be, and then set you up there 3 weeks before I ever come into town to just take it the fuck over for me.
You will sell out every single show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am taking notes, and we'll try to figure that out.
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm waiting to hear back from the folks at White Rock Theater in St. Leonard's on the Sea, United Kingdom, in England, because I did get their contact information and I did reach out. So fingers crossed that we hear something back from them. Their booking person was on vacation, so I'm waiting for them to get back to us. But the thing back on all the places we've been, you know, we have met amazing people in places that we did not plan to be.
Yeah.
You know, we met our angel dog sitter, Raquel. Shout out to Raquel in Calais, France. So now we have a wonderful place. She said, next time you come to Calais, don't know when that'll be, but you go the next time you come into Calais, you got a place to stay. You're staying with us. You know, wonderful friends. The Airbnb host in St. Leonard's on the Sea was absolutely phenomenal. We met a few workers there that were great. There's a wonderful karaoke bar that they loved us, and everyone wants to go back there. So all these random places we ended up, quickly people were like, oh, we love you. We want you to come back. So that's the testament to, I think, our ability to connect in the world. And, you know, I think it's just because we're fucking kind. We're not assholes.
You know, it's not a guarantee anymore that people are going to be kind. Kindness should be, but isn't guaranteed. So bringing that to the table, it means something.
Yeah. So when that happened, so I'm laughing because I just had a moment. I'm looking at your screen.
Okay.
And I see the air conditioning vent behind you. And I don't know why in my brain it made that my screen. So I looked behind to see where the air conditioning vent was, because I don't remember seeing an air conditioning vent in this room.
No, it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there on your screen. Yeah. Mine is not. Mine just has this random non-switch, or this is a switch by the wall, which will turn on the light, I think, on the outside or whatever. But yeah, so this has been, the last 3 days have been one hell of a week and a half.
Sounds like
it. Yeah. Between moving and leaving one Airbnb, moving to another Airbnb. Again, it was just, like I said, 6-7 minute walk. So we luckily we got the key the night before last. So like right around 10:30, 11, I started moving things in just because it was cool at night. And I'm kicking myself because one of the heaviest bags I didn't take until yesterday in the fucking heat of the day.
Of course.
Like, why did I wait to bring this? Is the bag, and it's the one with the broken wheel where it just drags along the street. It's like, I don't know. I do this to myself. I should have just taken that bag the night before, left it here, and been fine. But no, I don't, because I think I'm gonna put more stuff in it, and I didn't.
Of course.
Right. So it was a journey to get here. But the good news is we're fucking here. Yeah, this place unfortunately does not have a pool, so I will be returning back to Marilla to enjoy that infinity pool. But again, we're also a 10-minute walk from the beach.
Which is great.
Which I have not been to the beach yet. Listeners, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm letting you down. I know that whenever I come to a beach town, my job is to take a daily beach pic and walk along the shores of Playa del Carmen. but these beach have the kind of sand that just sticks to you no matter what. And I just don't like sand. As much as I love the beach.
It's a conundrum.
It is indeed. So I will get some water shoes. I'll make my way down to the beach. Plus, it's been hot as balls. And there have been thunderstorms. It's very interesting. The thunderstorms here like flood the streets.
Weird.
So you got to navigate that type of terrain. Mexico. But I tell you, we love it here. We 100% love it here. It's absolutely wonderful and phenomenal. Oh, speaking of, how is your Airbnb? And since we're a travel podcast, all about travel.
The Airbnb here is great. I think we've talked about in the past how we lucked out, and our Airbnb is on the third floor of the same building that Bernardo's venue is. So that's super convenient. My venue is like a 5-minute drive, so it's super easy. Plus, I'm the one that doesn't have anything to really load in and prep for. So it's great that it worked out that way and not the other way around, because he has stuff and props that go on stage. I don't. I just walk on the stage. I'm not even doing the napkin bit this week because of the size of the stage that I'm on. Took that out of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't want people moving around like that. And inevitably,
accidentally stepping on a
right. And just doing a swan dive off the edge of the stage. Right. Because sometimes I get people that are in a condition where no matter what I tell them as far as their butt being glued to the chair and the chair being glued to the stage, they're so into those napkins that they'll get up out of their seats and go start collecting them. And I couldn't take that chance on this stage. So that won't come into play, even though I brought a case of napkins. It is what it is. I'm not mad about it because it's really an exhibition in the flexibility of the show. So I've taken things out. I put other things in. I took things in from the old show. I've got some even newer stuff. And I'm probably going to do different stuff this weekend just because I can and because I may feel like I need to. So, next show is Saturday morning. I have 2 shows Saturday, like 1:00 and 4, maybe something like that. And then on Sunday, like 12:45 and 4:30, I think are the times.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, the Airbnb here is super nice though. It's a 2-bedroom. It is as nice as the pictures suggested that it was. And I say that because that's an important point, because they don't always. Sometimes you have these really nice professionally done pictures and then you show up and it's like, who the fuck took those pictures? Because they weren't of this place. And whether that's true or not, at least sometimes it feels that way. This one is as advertised, so it's cool. Yeah.
And it's like a studio, 1 bedder,
2-bedroom.
2-bedroom.
Yep.
Okay, you guys are staying together, right?
Yeah.
You've been out of sharing the Airbnb. Awesome. This your first time rooming together?
When we did the Atlanta show, we had a hotel, and then we did another show at somewhere where we got an Airbnb. It was also a 2-bedroom, but we brought our significant others to that. Okay. So, we've done it before. Yeah. This is the first time that we've done it over a week-long stretch.
Oh, wow. So you guys travel well. You guys travel well together?
Yeah, we've had no issues. We drove up here, and that was, it was smooth sailing to get up here. Pretty easy drive. So,
who does the cooking?
DoorDash or Uber Eats most of the time.
Whatever restaurant you're ordering from that night.
It's kind of one of those things where the time it would take to prepare meals. We did go to the grocery store and grab some stuff, but it's like, should we be spending this time in the Airbnb or should we be out there pushing the shows? So we've been out more than we've been in, other than, evenings at the end of the day, sleeping here, taking a nap in the middle of the day, whatever the hell my old ass needs,
And how many other Fringe shows have you been able to catch so far?
2 so far. And then, strolling around and they've got like this central hub that Spiegel World's got set up. So we've spent some decent time there. We've got a couple more that we're going to hit this weekend, one that we're going to go to tonight. So it's kind of a mixed bag and figuring out the schedule and what works and what jives with where we need to be. And of course, our show schedule times. So
Well, we definitely want to have some reports of the other shows, right? In the next episode or so, we definitely want to hear like what you saw, how was it, what you experienced, and if you can, squeeze in a little quick interview, little hellos and some plugs from other shows, because I really miss the performance aspect of being a performer. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Social network, I love, socializing, and I get to kind of perform mildly for small groups, but nothing like having a show together at a Fringe. So, man, I really miss that. So, I am kind of living vicariously through you, and I was living vicariously through Emily Gillette when they were in Edinburgh, and my friend Raluca, who's also in Edinburgh, and Brogan, who was also in Edinburgh. So I lived vicariously through them and the different shows they've seen. So I want to hear all about those wonderful shows and things that I don't get to do, because hopefully there'll be something here in Playa del Carmen. I haven't found any theater yet. There's a lot of clubbing, a lot of dancing, because it's a tourist town, right? So a lot of nightlife and DJs and what have you. But I just got connected to, like, there's this huge Google Doc of like all the different Facebook groups and Instagram groups and WhatsApp groups of every topic, right? So I'm about to scroll through those, find, connected communities and join those. I already found a place potentially where I can rent space to teach.
Oh, that's cool.
So stay tuned, that those classes might be coming as well. We're planting, smaller roots and making things happen in Playa del Carmen. And we want to get shirts the May that says, "But I live here now." Everybody's where you from? Well, I'm from Vegas, but I live here now. So I want shirts to say, "But I live here now."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to get those set up and all that kind of cool stuff. Awesome sauce. Cool. Anything else we need to chat near the end of this episode?
No, I think we've covered most of the more recent updates. I encourage anybody to follow either my YouTube channel or Between Two Minds to kind of catch some of those live interviews I should be doing at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. Unless the internet's shitty, then I'll just record them and then have to upload them after the fact. But my plan as of right now is to be able to live stream those. And some of them should be real interesting and real fun, because you've got a whole batch of people with a whole different, everybody's got their own history of how they got to where they are, and they're all going to be doing different stuff, because again, everything from clinical through performance hypnosis will be represented there. So it should be fun.
Cool. Well, listeners, we appreciate you tuning in. Of course, all the things, swing by our merch shop to get some Big Sexy Digital Nomad merch at whereisbigsexy.com. That is where, like clothing you're putting on your body. And the clothing you should be putting on your body is Big Sexy Digital Nomad merch.
That's right.
I will be uploading some more images. Brogan finally sent us the initials for Big Sexy Digital Nomad. So the BS in cursive and the DN in the font, the pinkish font. So I'm going to put those up. Those will probably look really, really good on a hat or a coffee mug. So you may want to consider getting those. We need some information, some travel stories. We need to connect with our listeners. So if you're hearing this, shoot us an email at bigsexynomad@gmail.com so we can read your email on the air. Tell your travel stories, your highlights, your lows. If you had any kind of funky Airbnb experiences, we want to hear about those. If you've gone to any kind of Fringe festival or big theater festival, or you traveled for it, we want to hear those stories. If you have any stories about a beach trip that was memorable, we want to hear those stories. So send us those in at bigsexynomad@gmail.com. If you want to tell it to us instead of writing it down, if you don't want to write it down, you just want to tell it to us, swing on over to prankcall.me. I think that still works. Or just go to bigsexynomad.com. That'll take you to our Spotify for podcasters page where you can leave a voice message. And we will play it fresh and raw on the air. We won't edit it. We'll listen to it and respond in real time.
And use it, because if it gets around time to renew the domain and nobody's using it, we're probably going to let it go. So, Prankcall.me.
Yeah, so definitely use that and reach out and connect with us. We appreciate it. And be sure to check us out on the social medias at Psychic-ish, at bigsexynomad. Hit us up there, say hello. And we thank y'all again for listening. And in the meantime,
Safe travel.
safe
Safe
travel.
travels.